So in this tutorial series, I'm going to go over how to make computer games in Java. And so in this tutorial series, I'm really expecting you to already have an understanding of how object-oriented programming works. And because I'm not really going to cover that in this tutorial, I'm focusing on building the game. So if you don't know how object-oriented programming works, I'll try to leave a link in the description to a tutorial series that covers that. Eventually I want to make my own for that too, but we'll get to that later. So to start off with this video, I'm gonna get you set up with everything in Eclipse. This is the NovaFlex library, and it's very new, it's very useful. It's going to give us a lot of tools that we're going to use to build the game. This is the game engine. So I'll leave a link to the description to this site because honestly I don't want to type that in, so you shouldn't either. So we're just going to download the latest version, which will take a second. It's a very small library, so we're going to go ahead and say keep. What is that fan? Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that fan, but it just like kicked on. Okay, so we've downloaded our library. We're going to open up Eclipse, get rid of this welcome screen because I've seen it a million times. Make a new Java project. And if you don't already have Eclipse installed, I'll also try to leave a link in the description to another tutorial where you can figure that out. I'm trying to go through this really quickly because I don't have too much time to do these videos. So we're just going to call this tutorial. I have no idea what kind of game we're going to make, but we will make one. So in order to use the library we just downloaded, we need to put it inside this project folder. And so I'm going to open up, we're going to go downloads, and there it is, NovaFlex 3.1. I'm going to cut it, and we're going to put it, I'm doing this on my desktop. You probably shouldn't do it on your desktop. We're going to put it not inside the source folder, we're just going to put it over here. That way we know where it is and it's easy to get to. Okay, so the way that Eclipse has this set up is pretty nice. I can really just right click on the project and go down to build path, configure build path. We'll go to libraries, add external jar, and it took me to the place where we were just at, but I want to use the copy that I just did. Just right here, I'm going to open, and now we've added an external jar, and then you'll see it under reference libraries. And so this is a very convenient way to import other people's code into your projects, and you'll probably do this a lot more when you get more into programming and stuff, if you haven't already. But before we get too far, I want to test this and make sure it's imported correctly. We're just going to make a package called main, and then we're going to make a class called game. Now I have noticed with this game engine, if you're running Linux, if you don't have enough stuff in the game, it's almost like there's nothing to stop the thread from running too fast, and then it like freezes up your computer. And so if you're running Linux, don't test this yet. Wait till I do the next video and I'll put more stuff into it and you'll be good to go, because it does work on Linux. Don't get, too messed up about it. Is this going to give me a constructor? No, it's not. It's going to give me all the stupid warnings that aren't really important. If you're using a different IDE, there are It's going to work somewhat similarly. I haven't really tried it in a different IDE, but I know NetBeans and IntelliJ, they're going to have some way to do this. Oh, yeah. I need to put void. Okay. So, we are extending our driver, and it looks like it imported okay, so that means we've referenced our library correctly. And so our driver class is, I'm probably going to have to do a whole nother video on the structure of everything, but the driver class is it's our JFrame basically. And we're going to extend it because our driver class also supports all the different game panels that we're going to be adding. And so that's what we're doing here. We're just going to do a little test run. And we're going to have to go over here. We're going to make another package called panels. We're going to make a class called game panel. Oh, crap. Let's not call it game panel. That's stupid. Let's call it menu. And it's going to extend the game panel. That's where I got the game panel name. And it doesn't like it. We'll import it manually since I know how to do that. Tools.game. You know like why? Oh, sorry. We have to rename the compilation unit to menu. And then things should be working. Oh, it's runtime. Yeah, we can do this. Sorry guys, I haven't set this up in a while, so just have to stick with me for just another second. Okay, so now we have our constructor, and really for the menu, it's really all we need, because we're just gonna test this. Actually, let's do override the paint method. This way we know it is working, and we're going to do g.setColor, color.black, g.fillRect. I may have to switch back to my other keyboard because this one's not working well for me. Driver.width and driver.height. This way we have like a nice black background on our panel and we can see what's going on. So we're going to go back to game and we're going to say, we're going to do a switch case. We're going to switch next panel, case 0, and then, okay, in our game, in our driver class, there's an array list. Array list is called panels. Panels.add, and then we're going to add our new, hey, what are you doing? I hate Windows 8 sometimes, you know. New menu, and then we have to add a driver. So we're going to cast this into a driver, into our constructor, and that's going to be added to our panels array. And then, of course, we need the break. When I forget that, it messes me up so much. Okay, so now we need to start. So this is our main method right here. And this is what's actually going to get called when the game is started. So what we need to do here is we need to init panel 0, Sorry about that, guys. My screen recorder is playing tricks on me. And okay, so the init panel that we just typed in, that's not what we want to do. Instead, we want to go up to our constructor, and we're going to say current panel. I don't know why it was giving me issues with that. I think I did spell it correctly. Anyways, is equal to 0. And then we're going to say init panel current panel. So we're going to create this panel 0, and we want to change those to position 0, because that causes issues later on if you don't do that. Okay, so in our main method, what we're going to do is we're going to get our game variable, and we're going to say equals new game, and then we're going to say we're going to get the panel, because we initialized this panel and the constructor when we called this. So we're going to say panels dot get current panel, because we did set that too, dot set visible true. And then we're going to go down to the next line, we're going to say game dot set visible to true, and finally panels dot get current panel dot start panel. Okay, and so if you have Linux, do not run this right now because it will freeze your computer and you'll have issues. I'll let you know when we reach the point where Linux users can run it. But if you have Windows, you should be good to run, and if I'm wrong, well, I'm on Windows, so we'll find out. Okay, it goes, it's working. Basically, we have our frame, and our game panel has been added to it and started. Obviously, there's not a whole lot to this, and in the future tutorials, I'm going to be doing a whole lot more, but this is our basic setup. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time.